Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Let's Talk Antiques here on Thunder Radio. And we got a motley-looking crew over there again this week.
Oh, we got lots to talk about today, Howard.
I know. We've already been talking here a little bit about it, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. And we're about to run right into our opening.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay, we're going to talk about milk delivery.
All kind of
Right,
stuff.
and
Milk
think-
cans, milk
milk
bottles,
can-
milk signs.
Oh, you mean those big metal ones that everybody used to put on their front porch?
You remember they used to have those containers and on the front porch, and depending on how many you got, usually they wouldn't leave the container unless you got a lot of milk. They'd
Oh,
leave
yeah.
you like 2 jars or whatever.
You mean the actual delivery? Oh,
Well,
those containers.
The farmers, you know, when they milk, they actually had 5-gallon milk cans.
Right.
And 10 gallons, I'm sure.
Yeah.
You know an interesting fact about milk, a 10-gallon milk can? If you fill a 10-gallon milk can up with milk up to the line, and people that knows anything about milk can knows what I'm talking about, that weighs 82 pounds.
No, I didn't know that.
Uh-huh.
And did you know the third of your product in weight, like a glass jar, is the glass?
Oh, yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons why they got rid of the glass jars.
Well, another reason is...
Well, they broke easy,
Yeah,
too.
they broke easy. There's all kind of reasons. And Ronnie hit on it when we was coming to the station. It wouldn't last as long as a glass jar. When you seal when you seal it, and Ronnie, you want to highlight?
Yeah. Well, I tell you what I was noticing when I go to the grocery store, and, you know, I live by myself, so I don't use a lot of milk.
Uh-huh.
But the milk in the cardboard containers has a longer expiration date than the milk in the plastic jugs. So I buy the milk in the cardboard containers.
Right.
Because I usually end up pouring out most of what's in the jugs, the
Well,
plastic jugs.
Yeah, but that expiration date isn't for real anyway, so... I mean,
Well, I tell you,
that's a marketing ploy to get you
it was-
throw good food away.
No,
and,
it was for real on mine,
But,
because I looked at a half a
It-
gallon.
It's just like
When
over
it starts to smell funny.
over in East Tennessee, you know, in Athens is the Purity Dairy. I think it was Purity. Yeah.
Well, it was in Nashville. I didn't know it was.
Not Purity. What is the name of
It's,
the one?
it's the
that's
one
not-
with the good ice cream.
Yeah, they got the good.
It's right from where I'm from.
What do you mean?
Mayfield.
Purity's
There you
got,
Mayfield.
but Purity's got good
No.
ice cream.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
you grew up with
Mayfield.
Mayfield's got a
That's
race
not
car too.
Yeah, but
I didn't know that.
Mayfield Dairy was over in Athens,
Yeah.
Tennessee, and they had the bottle, the plastic jugs were not clear because the sunlight didn't ruin the milk while the guy was unloading it out of the truck or something. They used to advertise about the sunlight.
Yeah.
There's so many additives in today's food. It probably,
Sun does actually damage stuff.
yeah,
so,
it
you know,
does.
to a degree. You
But
probably don't store it in the window of the store, though, like, you know.
no.
So,
Hopefully
so
it's in the
probably
fridge.
okay,
But
yeah.
you just think about it. Now, back in the day, way back, in the 60s,
Is that the day?
that's a day.
Okay.
Or 50.
The farmer milked his cows, put it in those metal cans,
Right.
set it on a rack out at the end of the lane. The dairy came by with a truck and took those full ones, left empty ones, so that he would have something to fill up the next day. Today they have a big tank in the barn,
Oh, and they
it's
pump it
and
out.
it's pumped
Oh,
into
yeah.
a
Yes.
refrigerated
Stainless
truck,
steel
Yeah.
tank.
and and people get more sicknesses today than they did in the old days. Now, why is that?
Because the
Why?
hoses, Howard, the
hoses-
hoses and the valves.
I know. It's just, we never worried about E. coli and stuff like
Y'all just toughed it out
we toughed it out. We were tough in those days. Hey, I knew a family.
until you weren't.
I knew a
It wouldn't even
family that would
pasteurize
put-
what you
they-
drunk, was it?
they would eat their lunch, that was usually the big meal, and cover it with newspapers to keep the flies off it, and then that was supper was already on the table. And none of us got sick.
Well,
from eating-
Grandma did the same thing, Howard, except instead of covering it with newspaper, she took the tablecloth. and
Oh yeah,
covered
you
it.
could throw a cloth over it. See, nowadays people look at it and say, "Ooh, that's an hour old. Well, I better throw it away." We throw more food away in this country
Oh,
than
yeah,
we
absolutely.
could feed the world.
What
if we did.
percentage? It's a real high percentage that we throw away.
Oh, it's terrible.
Is it like 40 or 60%? It's at least 40.
I think it's like 40.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable. And that expiration date, that is a marketing ploy to get you to throw stuff away to go buy fresh.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if it's green and there's things growing on it, it's time to get rid of it.
Yeah. No good.
But I'll get off my
Or
box.
just cut
I'll
it
get
off.
off the soapbox now.
No, stay on it.
I've got 50%.
50, okay.
Is it 50%?
Well,
That's terrible, isn't it?
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
And look, how many dollars a year, while you're doing that, little genius,
Yeah.
look up how many dollars in America is spent on groceries a year.
oh,
It's
Oh,
billions.
Trillions.
how many?
probably.
How many
I
people?
thought it was billions.
I don't know.
How many
This is-
people do you know that will not eat leftovers?
No.
Oh, I eat them.
No, I know.
I like them better than
Most of them taste better
like
after
'em better
they've
the next day.
fermented, or the flavors have gone through them better. Fermented is
I
probably not the
usually-
right word.
I'll look and see
Fermented.
what leftovers I got, and then make something to go with it. And I got
Yeah.
a whole new meal.
But I know several people that will not eat leftovers. They throw them away.
Oh
Well,
God, they're crazy. I'd rather have them.
Hey, Ronnie, you was talking about milk. You know, you can buy those. My mother-in-law, she buys those real small milk containers.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
got,
but it's cheaper to buy it. The more you buy, the cheaper
Oh,
it
Costs
is.
as
Yeah.
much as a gallon.
Yeah.
Is it?
Just about.
Okay.
I
yeah, it
even,
really is. The containers, I guess, is where they get them.
You can try evaporated milk and
Yeah.
condensed milk. I've done that.
But it's interesting. But anyway, we were talking about milk delivery. I think was what was the
Well,
milkman. Used to
milk-
come
well, yeah.
around.
When I was a little kid, and that's been a while because I'm 69, but I remember like at 5 and 6 years old, the milk delivery guy would come through the neighborhood, and he'd drive real slow. And you remember this, Howard, and a lot of people listening remembers it, so that puts them at our age. But they didn't have refrigerator trucks like
No,
you're talking
no.
about. They had ice trucks.
Oh, we used to like it. A lot of times they had dry ice. We'd get the dry ice and have fun.
Well, we didn't. Ours was just a regular old ice, and the water would be
Yeah,
dripping out of it. So if you didn't watch where you sit on the back of it, take
get
a little
wet.
ride. Yeah.
How
But you
about-
remember that water just pour out of the back? They had
Right.
a drain.
Had a drain. How about the Iceman? You remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Remember those?
Uh,
You probably don't remember.
25 pounds, 50 pounds.
You used to have a little card that
Uh-huh.
put in the front window of your house, and it had like 3 different weight or 4 different weights, like 25, 50,
Yeah.
and how you had it turned. And he knew that you wanted a chunk of ice 25 pounds.
Yeah, remember
Or
Riddle,
100
Riddle
pounds.
Coal and Ice Company,
Yeah.
years ago. Then you had Tullahoma Ice
Yeah.
Company, Ice and Coal Company.
Well, isn't that building up there that they've remodeled that's sitting there empty? Wasn't that some kind of ice house at one time?
Where at?
Well, next to our competitor.
No, that
Oh.
was a locker plant.
Oh, a locker plant.
Yeah, I had a
You
meat
know,
locker
people
plant.
didn't have freezers years ago, and so what they'd do, Howard, they'd rent them a little freezer locker
Right.
to put their, like when they killed a beef or
Yeah.
whatever, and that's what that was.
Okay, I heard it was real
No.
thick and designed to keep things cold. It was some kind of
It was-
ice.
it was a locker
house or
plant.
locker.
That
oh,
that is
locker
a
plant.
gorgeous building. Now I worked on that thing last
I
week.
know that's a shame. It's sitting
Really
empty like
gorgeous.
that.
Well-
Really
Oh,
nice
he's
of-
working on it.
It might not keep
It won't be
sitting.
long.
Good.
It's about
But I
time.
remember, because we've had Jiffy Burger for 54 years, and we used to live right where the library is now, beside Jiffy Burger.
Uh-huh.
That's where basically our house was just another, say, 100 foot over.
Uh-huh.
And we used to go up to the locker plant because it was still operating as a little grocery store and locker plant.
Oh, okay.
And they were noted, guess what, for their beef and
Ah.
their meats.
Okay, good.
It
Yeah.
reminds you of Spring Street?
Yeah,
Oh,
you might
yes.
just Spring Street now. That's where you want to buy all your meats.
Well, that was the thing with them. Mm-hmm. Lots of people worked there.
Right. And that's something, how things have changed like
Mm-hmm.
that. You don't hear about things like locker plants anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, y'all are just way above me. I don't have any idea.
Now everybody has a refrigerator that has a freezer, a big
Yeah.
freezer part of the refrigerator.
Yeah, or
And a deep
Or-
freeze.
Or the
beside it.
additional one.
they have their own deep freeze.
Mm-hmm.
But things change.
Things change.
I mean, we didn't have electricity here in Coffee County till '34.
But when you sent me that we were going to be talking about.
Well, wait a minute. Let me
Iceman.
say,
Okay.
the TVA came in '34. We actually did have electricity in the early 1900s, and it was Morton's Lake. It come off of it.
Oh, really?
I've got the original charter and everything,
Surprise.
Huh.
and one of the meters.
Yeah.
Now you were saying.
Well, I was going to say when you sent me that thing about what we were going to talk about today, I did some research on the milkman, and milk delivery, home milk delivery, and I was surprised that it says that it's kind of coming back. It's still a small percentage. But,
what else is coming back, Howard?
everything. My ties. I keep my ties.
Grocery deliveries.
What? Oh,
Yes,
That's
yes,
all you
uh-huh.
hear on television now.
And what did they?
That's a big deal.
In the 50s and the 60s,
Grocery
they used to do it all the time.
Yeah.
It's nothing new.
Yeah, it's.
Well, sorry about that. Oh,
We
well.
got a clown in
I
here.
don't know what that was.
What was that, Howard?
Okay, there.
That's a duck or something flew by.
Well, anyway, so a lot of things that people think is new is not new.
No. Well, what is it? Somebody says nothing new under the sun or something like that. Yeah. So anyway,
It's Ghost.
So what time is it, Howard? When I say that, how much time we got?
we got
left?
about 6 minutes.
Okay.
Okay, so you want to read just the highlights?
Oh,
about-
wait a minute. He's got to tell the
Oh yeah, we forgot the main thing here.
It's the most
Oh,
important
yeah.
thing.
Well, you know why?
What
You know
are
why we forgot, Howard?
We got goofed.
Because you
off.
sidetracked us.
Oh,
Yeah, it's all your fault, Howard. Absolutely.
I'm sorry. I'll be quiet the rest of the program.
No, don't do
No,
that.
don't do that.
You got something to talk about milk trucks.
So if you're listening to us live, you've got us on WMSR every Wednesday morning at 9 o'clock. We're on Light Tube Channel 6, and we're also on Charter Channel 193. And you can watch us anytime you want to on Facebook or YouTube. And all you have to do is go to one of those and search for us, and Let's Talk Antiques, and we'll come right up there.
And make sure you like us
Oh, yeah.
Like us.
Yeah.
And share.
Share us.
and share us.
Hey, and by the
Comment,
way,
tell us what you have that we surprised you about that you've got stuck away in the closet, or that you sold last week for a quarter at a yard sale.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
there
thing
you
that
go.
hurts.
and by the way, we can be heard on AM 1320 or
Oh, yeah.
107.9
FM
FM.
So-
Or 106.7 something.
107.9.
No, in Tullahoma. See,
Oh,
we
yeah.
have we have an
Oh,
FM.
I didn't realize there was a
repeater over there
repeater.
too.
So what is it?
The 106.7, I think it is.
Are you sure, Howard?
I don't know. When I get in the car, I push the button.
There you go. Yeah, okay.
Speaking of something that you... Oh, by the way,
Yes, sir.
we're going to talk a little bit about the milk companies that was in Manchester. And we're going to call my uncle up in Tullahoma, who's always lived there all his life, and so
Okay.
did I until we moved up here. But he stayed, and he knows about all the milk plants over in Tullahoma. And if you remember, just about every community had a milk plant.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Every community. And Ronnie, you heard what Philip said about selling something for a quarter? Mm-hmm. Tell him about that $1,200 deal, the milk bottle.
Oh God, I was looking on here where I saw where I was doing a little research, and it said that this lady sold a milk bottle on eBay for $1,200.
A milk bottle.
Well, now that's not the thing. This guy that bought it, he was president of a bottle collecting society, and he knew that it was worth $60,000.
Oh my goodness.
And he bought the bottle for $1,200, and he sold it for $60,000. Then he mailed the woman and rubbed her nose in it.
Oh no.
Can you imagine doing that?
No,
to
well,
somebody?
They shouldn't have done that.
And that's like buying, like you said, you advertise on Swap and Shop a lot of yard sales. So that's kind of like what Philip said. You buy something for a quarter and sell it for $100. Is that what
There you
you're
go.
saying?
That's what you try to do at least.
Right. And it happens every once in a while.
I bought stuff for $4 and $5 and sold it for $700-800.
Every once in a while you hear about somebody that went to Goodwill
But
and
then
bought
I
a
had to-
picture and turned out to be some
Van
famous Van Gogh or something, and they sold
Yeah.
for, that happens occasionally.
Oh, the Declaration of Independence.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
one of the original copies.
There you go.
Yeah.
So,
So you want me to start, or are we breaking at this
I-
point?
well,
No, we want to break.
Well, we can go to a break. And
let's
then
do it because, it
Yeah,
takes him a while. He's kind
Yeah.
of long-winded
Get
when he reads.
started up.
Yeah, he's a slow reader.
And we're going to give my uncle a call, so we'll call him after we do the story here. And we'll
Okay.
talk about the Tullahoma side, then we'll talk about the Manchester.
Okay. We'll be right back with more Let's Talk Antiques.
Hello, I'm Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy pick.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
All right, we're back with Let's Talk Antiques, and
So you're going to give us a little history
you're
about
going
the
to
milk
history of something or another.
Okay. So long ago, when family farms dotted the countryside, people enjoyed milk straight from the cow. Towns and countries grew, however, and the time spent between production and consumption grew as well, so milk came to town. Farmers carted it in their earthenware crocks, quart-sized fruit jars, or large tin cans, sometimes packed in ice. Ladled this nutritional commodity into housewives' jugs, pitchers, or pails several times a day. Once milk was pasteurized, which allowed safer storage for longer periods, daily deliveries became common. Do y'all remember milk coming more than one time a day?
No, I only remember they always brought it in the morning time when I was a kid.
Yeah, it was usually in the mornings, and
Newspaper.
I don't think it was every day. I think it was every couple, 3 days.
Just depending on
the neighborhood
yeah.
and the area.
Right.
Okay.
The uses.
All right. The New York Dairy Company first produced glass milk bottles as we know them. Patents for similar containers have followed. The Leicester milk jar, patented in 1878, for example, featured an elastic rubber gasket topped by a glass cover secured with a thumb screw clamp. That sounds complicated. The Warren milk jar, described as the ultimate solution, featured a glass lid, bale closure sealed with a cork ring, and other models featured close-fitting porcelain or glass dome enclosures. Thousands of dairies, realizing their marketing potential and ease of use, purchased tens of thousands of these glass bottles for distribution. Do you have any of the rare, odd
No,
type
I
samples?
don't
I've
have.
never seen any of those.
I have some of the glass bottles, but I don't have no $60,000 one.
Well, okay. Glass held a clear advantage over the traditional milk containers. Its slick surface was, was easier to clean and reuse. The least particle of stale milk or cream rapidly changes the flavor and healthful qualities of fresh milk bottles. However, closures, became corroded, unsanitary, or broken with use. And in 1989, Harry D. Thatcher, a Potsdam, New York druggist, came to be known as the father of the milk bottle, came up with the unlike earlier models, this innovation of the wafer-like paper cap that was highly waxed that would go over the mouth of the jar. So that was, what year was that? 1889.
Yeah, but also not only that lid would it would have the name of the dairy on it.
Yeah, they would print that, and whether it was whole milk or different, full butter fat or whatever they called it.
Round pre-1900 pressed or mouth-blown glass bottles, sometimes embossed with names of dairies and partial addresses, are not only rare but costly. Milk caps from this area are also extremely collectible. The standard machine-made universal store bottle embossed with store 5-cent bottle reached the market around 1913. It was favored not only by small mom and pop but also with large distributors because demand and need for the bottles was skyrocketing. Many featured stamped production manufacturers' marks and numbers along with circular scars created when they were ejected from their molds. A decade later, Norman Henderson of Albany, New York, patented the milk bottle and cream separator. Now, I've not seen any of these. This is the milk bottle. The neck had a bulbous part on it which separated the butterfat cream from the denser skim milk below. And if you poured it correctly, it would you could pour the skim milk out without getting your
Yeah,
cream.
I can remember the butterfat would be at the top, if I remember right.
It always right.
And
cream.
and so you wanted you didn't want skim milk, so you'd have to shake your milk up and kind of get it back together before you poured yourself. a
But
glass
the
of
milk company figured out real quick to snatch that right up.
Oh yeah, well, that was
You know, the
So they
cream
can-
part is how you make your butter.
Yeah,
Right,
they sell
right.
that separate.
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Since tall milk bottles were far more numerous, hundreds of thousands of dairies, large and small, personalized them with embossed labels of their own. Some bottles featured costly made-to-order design. Others were made with inexpensive, reusable ovals, circular or horseshoe-shaped customizable plates or slugs. Milk bottle manufacturers switched from embossed labels to striking pyroglazed painted ones on in the 1940s. This technique permanently fused durable graphic designs available in a wide range of shades. So that's in the 1940s. They it'd be printed on the bottle instead of shaped into the bottle, which I'm sure was a whole lot cheaper.
right.
A whole lot cheaper.
Right.
It also discouraged use by competitors. In fact, many enterprises including the Melrose Dairy of Ormond, Florida, included some variation of "I want to go home. Please return the empty bottles," to their thing. So that helped you get your bottles
Well,
back. for
that's an
refillable.
interesting point. Everybody's talking about recycling today, and those bottles were reused.
Yes.
They went back and were washed and reused over again.
Yeah, not just the milk side, the soda.
Yeah, all soda bottles, all glass.
They,
yeah.
they even had bottle exchanges, so that that they could get their
Well,
bottles back.
you could collect those milk bottles as well as drink bottles, the Coca-Cola and the Pepsi bottles, and take them to the grocery store and get 2 or 3 cents back, and then buy penny candy. Remember
some
that?
Of those, some
I
of those
walked
bottles,
many a ditch hunting those Coke
You,
bottles.
you better believe it.
some of those bottles said store on them, which were meant to be sold in the store as opposed to the ones that went to the homes.
Yeah.
Because the ones that went to the homes, they didn't charge them a deposit on the bottles.
Right.
But the ones in the store, they did. And there's lots of states passed laws making it illegal for one dairy to take another dairy's bottle and reuse it.
How about
Ain't
that?
that something?
Yeah, I guess considered false advertising or something. That
Yeah.
purity milk would actually Mayfield or whatever.
Yes,
something. I don't
exactly.
know.
You got to get off at Mayfield.
So
Yeah.
hey,
He
y'all
likes
brought it
Mayfield.
up.
I started it, didn't I?
Yeah.
We know
I'm
what
from
you
Cleveland,
buy now.
which is right next to Athens. So
Yeah.
that's what, everybody toured the Mayfield Dairy. You get ice cream at the end.
Yeah,
of it.
that's cool. That's
yeah.
that's a neat little tour.
Well, Purity would do the same. I'm sure they do.
Yeah, if you
Oh,
say
I'm
so.
sure they did.
All right.
Oh my, we lost control again, folks.
Okay, so
Hurt us back in, Howard.
so they also milk
Milk.
Milk.
dairies.
They milk the cows.
Dairies realized that people were getting their bottles and started advertising on them because people were getting new milk bottles every day, and every American got them. So that was also a big thing. And by the 1950s, traditional Thatcher-style cardboard milk caps were deemed unsanitary, were replaced by color-coded aluminum caps designating their fat content. Finally, in the 1960s, as lightweight, opaque, single-use cardboard cartons became available, the glass milk bottle era drew to a close.
Yeah. Speaking of those milk bottles in that advertisement you was talking about,
Yeah.
America used it by war bonds.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Back
They
in the war.
utilized the war bond thing with a lot of stuff.
Oh boy, they sure did. That was a big push.
So basically, that's the history of the bottle.
So that's pretty much the history of the bottle. There you go.
All right. So Howard, try my favorite uncle there, and we'll see if we can get
See
him
if we
on.
can get him on here.
Yeah, and we're going to talk about, like, there was some dairies here in Manchester, and there's dairies in Tullahoma, and there's dairies in Chevyville, and just about every town had their own little dairy. Not only dairies, cheese factories. You like cheese?
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
I love cheese.
Yeah. Now there's a difference in the milk that they use for cheese and do you know the difference between the cheese milk and the drinking milk?
Just the fat content, I would
The
assume.
grade.
Oh, okay.
Like grade A was the drinking milk and grade B was the cheese milk.
I did not know that. So
And
how
some-
do you grade the difference? In that?
Now you'll have to ask some of my friends that used to have milk barns. They could tell you how you do difference in the grade.
Okay.
Is this Ray? Okay, let me put you on the air here, Ray. David wants to talk to you about dairies in Tullahoma.
Now, this is the guy that knows.
Okay, got him on the line there.
All
Hi, Uncle Ray.
Hey, good morning, Dave.
All right, so we're going to start out with you first. We was talking about, every town had their own local dairies, and
Yeah.
and so you give us let's me and you talked about it, but let's talk about the ones in Tullahoma.
Okay, the dairies that were in Tullahoma, when we first came to Tullahoma about 43, was the Columbia Dairy, located down on the north end of Washington Street, and Tullahoma Pure Milk Dairy, which was located downtown and on Wall Street.
Yeah, and the one in Tullahoma. The interesting thing about the Wall Street one, that's where the Traders Bank parking lot is now, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it was in that general area.
Yeah. Now, Mom worked there at the Waffle Shop. It was in that
Right.
Wall Street alley.
She did, right
And-
across the opposite side of the street there.
Yeah, and the one facing the Marshall Theater. What was the name of that little store? Service station?
It was Murray Poe's.
Yeah, that's it. And then the Pure Milk Company was right behind it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
it
now
was.
there's one more thing that we need to discuss besides the milk companies. There was a cheese plant there too, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was. The cheese plant was located over off of, I guess that would be Wilson Avenue, which is the Lynchburg Highway. You know?
Right.
Okay, it was located there at the first turnoff. If you turn on to Wilson Avenue off of the main street, you turn left, and for a long time there was a cheese plant. I don't recall what the name of it was, but it went out of business probably, I guess, about 30 years ago, you might say.
Was it by the old Coca-Cola place
It was
over there?
between the golf plant and the Coca-Cola plant.
Okay.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Brad?
it was. It was behind the Coca-Cola plant. Actually, Wilson Sporting Goods occupied that building until
Okay.
very few years ago. It went out of business.
Yeah, and you said Mr. Beasley owned the Columbia Dairy and Mr. Wiseman owned the Tullahoma Pure Milk.
Charlotte Parish. You know, Charlotte Wiseman Parish.
Uh-huh.
I believe it was either her uncle or her father. I'm not sure which one. Owned the Tullahoma Pure Milk Company.
Well, do you remember as a kid those trucks running the Tullahoma Pure Milk? I know you remember the Columbia Dairy. Do you remember the Tullahoma?
I don't recall too much about. I probably saw them, but the ones that I recall, and a couple of the drivers that I knew, one driver for Pure Milk Company, his name was Dan Harmon, and he stayed with Columbia Dairy until they went out of business.
I'll be dog.
Yeah,
Do you know what year Columbia Dairy went out?
it was in the 1960s.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly what year, but Dan, I saw Dan, I guess, the last time about probably 1961 or 2,
Mm-hmm.
and they probably went out of business mid-60s.
Mm-hmm. What about the Tullahoma Pure Milk one?
I don't have any idea about that.
Now, it was operating during the war, though, wasn't it?
They both were.
Yeah. You know, for a narrow alley, there sure was a lot of business in that alley, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was. It got the name Wall Street, I guess, for lack of a better name. It was just an alley, but a lot of businesses fronted on that alley.
Yeah, you remember, you know where the milk plant was right there in the alley?
Yeah,
You think
it was-
that's where they probably built that? Remember, what was the gentleman's name that built that big mall in there? You know,
John Harton.
yeah.
John Harton.
Is that where the milk plant set, where he built that Harton Arcade?
It was back just to the north of that, just
Yeah.
a few feet. Yeah.
It's amazing to me what one little alley, how many different
Yeah,
businesses
well,
was
the
located in.
Oklahoma Pure Milk Company wasn't a very big building.
Yeah.
It was rather small, but that's where it was.
Okay, well, thank you, Uncle Ray.
Yeah, you're welcome. See you.
Okay.
All right.
What time we got there, Howard?
About time to take a break.
All right.
Yeah.
We come back, we're going to talk about some, Fred Tate give me the history of the Manchester milk plants.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Be right back.
Hello, I'm Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in and get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy pick.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
All right, we're back with Let's Talk Antiques. Ronnie's got something to tell us, and then we got a phone call here.
Okay, when we started out, we told y'all we would find out how much the U.S. economy spends on food each year. Well, we found that, and it's $1.62 trillion. That's on beverages, grocery stores, and take out like fast food and stuff,
Like Jiffy Burger?
like the Jiffy Burger.
There
That's
you go.
according to the
As an
USDA
example.
website.
Boy, that's a sneaky way to get it plugged in.
We
I'll
plug
tell
it
you.
all the time. All right, we're ready for our call.
Let's get our call here. Hello, caller.
Yes, sir.
Now, you had something to tell us about milk and milk deliveries?
Yeah, when we married back in '59, we milked cows in the '60s, and my husband still has the cooler that he used to cool his milk in, and I think it held either 6 or 8 milk cans.
I'll be darned.
That's really good.
Wow.
Does the cooler still
no.
work?
Yeah, the cooler's still here, and we still got a few of the milk cans.
Now,
And he even has one of the metal, what was it called? One of the metal crates that came from Jersey Gold.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
Now, did y'all, when you milk, did you do B grade or A grade?
We did be great.
Yeah, that's the cheese milk, isn't it?
Yes.
Hmm. That's really
we had,
interesting.
we had a herd of registered Guernseys.
How many was y'all milking?
I mean, we milked about 20, 25.
That's amazing.
Oh, boy.
now, was that twice a day?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we had to get up early in the morning, and then we milked about 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Afternoon.
So y'all make deliveries twice to the dairy?
The
No,
dairy,
they just picked the milk up
Oh, they
one
picked it
day
up. Okay.
in the morning.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you know where your
Interesting.
did your milk go to Jersey Gold or who did it go to?
It went to Jersey Gold.
Jersey Gold.
No, wait a minute. No, it went to Carnation.
Oh yeah, that's over by the school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, that one I don't know about.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yes, it really is. And like she was telling you about those milk cans,
Yeah.
what was your number on your milk can? You remember?
What was our number? 158.
158.
I'll
That's
be
What was the
darned.
number signify?
what.
That's how it identified
that's how
that as
they-
their cans.
got their cans back by the
Oh,
number.
okay.
They knew where the milk come from.
Where it came from
That-
and how much
that
they sent 'em.
number was their address,
Right.
basically is what it amounted to.
Okay.
And that's how they got paid.
That's cool.
Well, thank you for calling.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that's interesting.
Yes, it
you know.
is.
that.
I'm glad she called.
Yeah.
And the coronation, Ronnie, you asked, what was the gentleman that just passed away last year, I think, with he had cancer. He had all those old cars over by the city school, one street over.
I don't know.
From Westwood or
No,
or City School up here?
Uh-huh.
What street?
Well,
At the cars.
I've known him for years. You know how sometimes you forget a name?
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
And I'm sure I know it. But
Well,
about it.
we'll continue on, then I'll tell you his
been there.
name in a few minutes.
That's-
Or
yeah.
after the program,
Yeah,
you'll
or
remember.
after-
Now, Dawn's
Okay,
on you
well,
when
I
you're
searched-
But anyway, that's where it was.
I did not know about a carnation dairy.
I searched for a milk box, and I didn't find the dairy one like she was talking about, but I found a milk bottle porch box, which is
Yeah, that kept it cold too.
Yeah.
kept it cold on your porch if you
Yeah.
weren't there when they made the
Right,
delivery. I guess.
right.
It was 12 1/4 inch wide by 9 1/8 inch deep by 11 inches high. Good condition, wonderful painted graphic of Suncrest Farms on it, and they got $85 plus 25 shipping, so that would be 110.
Now, the
for
cooler
that,
she was
so-
talking about had to be big.
No,
Yeah,
it,
that was-
it,
that was
it held
huge,
milk
yeah.
cans.
Yeah, it was much bigger than
But
this.
that's the little
that's
porch
for,
deal.
For
Yeah.
home
Yeah.
deliveries.
I didn't have them.
See,
think
it's
about one of
insulated
these.
and everything. It's
Yeah,
really
nice. Yeah.
Lowry.
Lowry.
And his
Oh, yeah.
junior,
Oh,
they
okay,
called him
okay.
Junior.
Okay.
He had all the old cars. You like old cars,
Right.
And he was a good fella. And not only did he deal with old cars, he was good at singing and playing music.
Oh, well.
Good fella. Anyway, that is where the cheese plant was.
Yeah.
Okay, now Carnation was a cheese plant,
Yeah.
and they didn't sell milk.
Well, I guess they had different divisions. Now I could
I've
be
heard
wrong.
of the Carnation instant
Yeah,
milk.
I've got the carnation sign. They actually from the farmers. I've got one of those porcelain signs. So in Manchester, you had Jersey Gold, you had Manchester Dairy or Pure Milk. Fred Tate is the one that was telling me about this, and he couldn't remember if it said Manchester Dairy or Manchester Pure Milk. It was one of the two.
One of the two.
And then you had the Carnation.
And the Jersey Gold's all I remember from Manchester, but I bought sip sacks up there. They were still open when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
I love those sip sacks. There's a little plastic bag you stuck a straw in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love them things.
Oh yeah. Well, to start out with, the bakers are the ones that had the Jersey Gold,
Uh-huh.
and then they sold it to Henry Short. Now this is all Fred Tate telling me these stories, and let's see here, and they come up with they had half gallons in cartons. They went to cartons.
Right.
An interesting thing that he said about they had the half gallons and they had all the school business.
Oh, yeah.
That would
Remember
that was
the
good
little bottles?
contract,
Little,
yes.
little cartons.
Yeah.
Little bottles.
But they had the bottles to start
yeah,
with.
yeah,
and then
little
they went to
bottles
the
at
cartons.
first. I remember that.
Yeah, and let's see.
I've never
and-
seen a school-sized milk bottle. So.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
it's
had.
just a little bitty thing.
Yeah, it was half pints
Okay.
in the glass bottles, and then he said in the '60s they went to all cartons, and they started out. He said the cartons had paraffin on it.
Right, wax. They were waxed.
And he said there was one gentleman that was his job to put the paraffin on the cardboard boxes, and he said he would chew that paraffin.
Oh, yeah. Well, don't you remember the
like
penny
gum.
the penny candy was in the wax bottles? Had the juice in it. And
Oh, yeah.
And you used to end up chewing the wax.
Yeah, you're right.
It
I
was
do
like a
remember that.
little-
Oh, yeah.
And it had you'd chew off, bite
Yeah.
off the top, drink the fluid, and then
Yeah.
chew the wax because the wax was flavored too, like chewing gum.
And he said that eventually they went to the plastic jugs, but he said to start out with a couple of the large milk companies had square plastic jugs. And he said, Mr. Short said, that's not kid friendly, a square jug. And so his jugs were the rounded jugs.
Rounded you.
Ain't that something?
So they could hold them in their hands easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That Mr. Short was,
He was a smart guy.
Fred Tate said he read all the time, and he said he was always way ahead of everybody. What do you got there?
I got some half-pint milk bottles I
Oh,
searched
okay.
for over here.
Well, I tell you
Oh,
what,
we got
right
a-
now would be a good time. I guess I pretty well covered everything. Me and
Yeah.
Fred, other than remember, he's the one that told me that up to the line on the on the milk can, the 10-gallon milk can, it was 82 pounds.
82 pounds.
I've got a Depot Restaurant, O&W Middleton, New York, half-pint milk bottle from Orange County, it says on it. 2 bids went for this bottle, $350.
Just for the little half.
For 1 half pint.
Empty. No milk in it even.
Yeah.
But it's an embossed bottle too.
Yeah.
Right?
It's true. Yeah, it is embossed.
Really pretty.
And lots of the milk bottles, when they display them, they put like those little white pellet things, like shipping things. What do you call that stuff?
Yeah.
But it's just inside
Shipping
of
pellets?
no, really
Peanuts.
I would call it more like the inside of a bean bag.
It's smaller
They
than
call,
Yeah.
they call them peanuts.
but
yeah.
they're
Yeah.
the small ones, right?
Yeah, the little shipping
Yeah.
peanuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it seems like the inside of a bean bag.
I've got a garbage bag
Yeah.
full of them at the house.
So you ship the.
Yeah, I
He
should.
calls it a bean bag though.
It used to be a beanbag.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so that's how they come up with bean bags?
There you go.
When you buy them, they call them
They took
peanuts.
shipping pellets and made a bean bag.
There you go.
Of course.
So here's a 1927 Roosevelt Dairy from Mesa, Arizona, half-pint milk jar, and this is also an embossed one. It has the phone number and on it, and 10 bids on that went for $202.50.
My goodness. Just who would have thought? Every week I'm amazed at what people are collecting.
You've got a little gold mine you brought last week. You're going to have to do a little research on it.
I guess.
And remember, when you sell it for millions of dollars, I get 10% for putting you on that.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I would do that for
Oh.
$1 million.
Okay. That's $100,000 though.
I know. I'm generous.
Okay. All right.
Here's
Go
a
ahead.
Yasgur Farms half-pint milk bottle. This has printing on it instead of embossed.
So that must be 40s.
At least.
Yeah.
And it went for $190. And then a rare half-pint Lacey's Dairy Farm from Palestine, Texas Creamery milk bottle, phone number 55 embossed on it. It went for $185. And something on this one is a photo that really shows that the bottle is small, but the lid is still that big size lid on it, so that you could use the same
Right.
lid on all of them.
Wow.
I hadn't
Those
thought about
bottles, made after the 40s, they were the square bottom bottles with the short sides.
It was? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is way before the 40s.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's an
uh-huh.
early one there.
Yeah. Here's a Mississippi State College Dairy Department half-pint milk bottle. It's embossed. $175 was one bid. Here's one that D.T. Dwight Dairy Star in North Carolina, half-pint. 22 people bid on this one.
Wow.
So, $139.39.
Huh.
I wonder how 22 people got excited about that one bottle. Though.
Oh,
It
people are all over those milk
Right.
bottles nowadays. They're hot.
Yeah. It's a good collecting item.
Yeah.
Howard, ain't it about time to take a break?
It's about time. I was.
Why don't we take a break, and while we're on the break, we're going to do a little bit of research, see if we can find them. Now, one thing that he did say about Jersey Gold, Mr. Short would not spend the money to get those bottles embossed. Okay, so you'd be rare to find one that has Jersey Gold embossed. Now, of course, the milk cartons.
Yeah.
With that, let's take a break.
Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Pick and Rick T from CFC, best place to get you used auto parts and all types of metals to repurpose for your needs. Just take a drive down 55, see this handsome guy, stop on by. Check out our computer for hundreds of autos to locate the make and the model of the part you need. $2 fee is all you pay. Sign in, get a hand stamp, it's good for all day. Bring in your tools, get the parts you need pulled, and use a wheelbarrow to lighten the load. Pay for your parts, prices you'll be fond of. Each part's price the same, Chevy or Honda. Get exchange warranty for 30 days too. Swap out the parts you don't need for the parts that you do. Happy pick.
The Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester has been voted as having the best hamburgers in Manchester. Hometown atmosphere, historical memorabilia, and of course those great burgers, salads, chicken, and so much more. It's the Jiffy Burger on the Hillsborough Boulevard in Manchester. Call in orders at 728-4452. You can also order at the convenient outdoor curb service. Hamburgers are made the old-fashioned way at the Jiffy Burger, Manchester's finest hamburgers. Open 7:30 until 9, Monday through Saturday.
All right. While we were on break here, had been listening to the commercials on this end. I was listening to a phone call. A gentleman called in. His father, Johnny B. Adams, worked at the one dairy, the Gold,
The Jersey Gold?
Jersey Gold.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he was telling me that his father told him that when they wanted to make some ice cream, they made sure that it had extra cream and extra milk so that it was really tasty.
Well, I guess you can
they-
do that when you're making the ice
when
cream.
you're a guy that's adding and making it, you can make it to suit your taste, and it would make it really rich. Probably taste much better than what we get
I tell
today.
you, you go to buy cream. Cream's a lot more expensive than milk now.
Oh, yeah.
It
And
is.
it's just what they skimmed off the top. It's a byproduct
It's a byproduct.
from the milk.
Of course, everybody's on a diet today, see, so they want skim milk, so they got a lot of cream, but they're really making
I
money
like
on
to make ice cream, but it costs me about $20, $25, $30 to make ice cream, the way I make it.
It's cheaper to buy it.
Oh, I'm telling you.
Hey, so while we was on break, since we did have a Carnation milk plant here in Manchester, Tennessee, we looked up, and there actually is some Carnation milk jugs on there.
Got another call coming
Well,
in
let's
here.
do it.
Let's see who we got here. Yes. Hey. You're on Let's Talk Antiques.
Hey, good morning.
Morning.
I apologize if it's a topic you've already covered because I've been in and out and not listening to the radio continually, but I wanted to comment on a couple of things about the Jersey Gold Dairy and
Well,
the
we're
schools
still
and
talking
stuff.
about
Yeah,
it.
we're
Yeah.
talking.
Go ahead.
You're right
Okay.
on time.
When I was in first grade, that'd be 56, 57 school year, they still had bottles and still had the bottle caps in them, and everybody delighted in saving the bottle caps for no reason other than they were neat looking,
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that was my first grade school year at City School, Manchester City School, now College Street.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was the next year that they switched to the paper cartons that were wax coated,
Mm-hmm.
and those didn't suit me very well because lots of times there was chunks of wax and stuff in the milk, and then of course later down the road, then they switched to the plastic coated paper. But anyway, the government subsidized the milk in the school system to be sure everybody got milk. They offered nothing else to drink except milk, and I guess you could probably gotten water, but I don't remember anybody getting that. But by it being subsidized, you could get more than one milk if you paid 3 cents
Ain't that
3
amazing?
cents, wow.
for an extra one. So I'm sure it was probably on the order of a dime or something, and the government was subsidizing all of it, but 3 cents. That was just to keep people honest. And they did sell ice cream in the schools for 10 cents. And
What year was
so
that?
that was 56, 57, or 57, 58.
Okay. All right.
I think 57, 58 was when they switched to the paper carton. And I remember in the cafeteria when some kid would drop one of those pint glass bottles.
Oh.
I mean, it was a splat. It was a mess.
Yeah.
Glass everywhere.
Broken shards of glass on the floor and whatever. And my other memory of related to Jersey Gold was we lived on MacArthur Street, and we had home delivery, and we had a back porch that wasn't enclosed. It was just sitting out there. And my dad had taken an old refrigerator and put out on the back porch, and Frank Carr was our delivery man, and he would come in, I believe 2 days a week, and leave milk in the refrigerator on the back porch. And it was early morning when he would come, and I can remember, laying in bed, and I could hear the truck, come in and go out of the driveway. But imagine today, having a system for an inexpensive system where people would deliver milk to your house
Yeah.
twice a week.
Yeah, that was the day. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they
anyway,
shoot them nowadays. They pull
And by the way, I talked to Fred Tate, and that milk delivery more than likely was still iced down the truck because he said they only had one refrigerated ice truck, milk truck to start out with, and the rest of them they had to ice it down.
And I remember in Cub Scouts taking a tour of the Jersey Gold plant. And, of course, the restaurant, the Jersey Joy, I guess was owned by Mr. Short also, and it used the same logo font for Jersey Joy as the Jersey Gold was on the milk carton, and it was at the present location of Walgreens, down on the corner.
An ice cream.
Okay.
But those are good memories. I have no idea what anything's worth. I still see it. I know where there's a Jersey Gold clock that doesn't work, but it's a plastic wall clock,
Mm-hmm.
and that's about the only thing I remember anything in our family still remaining that says Jersey Gold on it. But
Well, hang on to it because
That-
it's probably worth more than
that
you
stuff
think.
is highly collectible locally, and those local dairies, the stuff brings more locally than it does.
Yeah.
If you sell it somewhere else.
and at the hardware store, my dad and granddad had the hardware store up on the square. The other thing is, we sold milk filters and milk funnels
Yep.
to use and fill in the milk cans.
Right.
Where people were processing, and we also sold pasteurizers that would plug in to
I'll be damned.
pasteurize.
That's something you don't see.
And we sold bottle cappers too, but I'm sure people weren't bottle capping milk. They were bottle capping something else.
Yeah,
Another
homebrew beer.
beverage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir, for your
Yeah,
call.
thank you.
All right.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye-bye.
Okay, so on the break we did find out there, we talked about Carnation, and you found a few jugs.
Yeah, we've got a few Carnation jugs. You got to think, Carnation was a huge company. They were around more than just here.
Oh, yeah.
They probably had thousands of places.
Yes.
But anyway, we have a 1 gallon fresh milk bottle, glass, dairy jug. Looks like it's in really good shape. They took, they wanted $50 for it and took a best offer. So I don't know what it brought, but I know it brought more than $30.
I got another call. Do we want to try?
Yeah,
to get it?
yeah.
let's do
we
that.
Sure
Let's
do.
see if we can get this. You're on Let's Talk Antiques.
Yes, I was wondering. I lived right down the street from Jersey Gold Milk Plant when I was a kid, and I was wondering what numbers they had on the bottles, or did they have their names on the bottles? Or I'd like to have one of the bottles or one of the lids. And my sister-in-law and her dad used to work there too. So.
Yeah. Now you remember the paper lids he did have his name on, but he would not pay to get. Remember, he would not pay to get printed labels on his bottles. He saved his money. He did do the lids though.
Now, those lids are collectible,
Yeah.
Where can I find one of the lids, reckon?
Huh?
Yeah.
Where can I find one of the lids?
Well, I'd say that you'll just have to look at a local antique store, and sometimes you see those paper lids that with the Jersey Gold on them. I have seen them in antique stores.
Yeah, we used to go up to right up there, and I just go to a couple houses from them, and we go buy cottage cheese from them. And at one time, they put milk in plastic bags. They were going to. I don't know if they ever done it much. They showed it on paper or something like that, where a guy was standing on one of them. I remember that,
I'll be dog.
but I don't remember if it ever went over good. But
Well,
I'm just curious about that. Well, I appreciate your help.
yeah, sure.
Well,
Okay.
now,
What number was on the bottles that they had? Was there a number, or
No.
No, it was on the cap, the bottle cap.
Just on the cap.
just the bottle cap itself? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now, those plastic bags they put in the milk machines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those bags you're talking about. Now we owned
Yeah.
Jiffy Burger for 54 years, and that's how Jersey Gold brought our milk, was in those plastic bags.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
And that went into the
Well,
dispenser
it was a plastic
Yeah,
bag,
an
but it
old
was
milk
also in a
machine.
cardboard box.
box. Yeah.
You set it up in the milk
Oh,
machine.
okay.
It'd hold two
Well, I
of them.
appreciate that.
All righty.
Okay. Hey, I hate to say
Thank you.
this, but we're running out of time.
Are we out?
We're
Well,
almost.
We got less than a minute.
We got less than a minute.
All right, I got my most expensive milk jar here.
All
real
right,
quick.
let's hear it.
Milk bottle.
Your most
1940s Rosedale Laramie, Wyoming, quart grade A bottle. Now it says Rose War Battleship, which I don't necessarily know what that means. And now this is a printed bottle. It is, so it's
Yeah.
1940s. 43 people bid on it. It went for $1,535.
Oh my goodness.
That's a good price, but that don't top Ronnie's
Don't top that
$60,000.
$60,000
doesn't.
It
bottle.
doesn't come close to that one.
No, afraid not.
That's
I'd
the
say those collectors sell within their own little society there.
Well, looks like we're out
Yes,
of time, guys.
All right.
We'll be back next week with more Let's Talk Antiques. Bye-bye.